The next one, the Super Nintendo, in handheld size.
Right.
It's got 21 games built on for $79. It's releasing September 29th. It's got your Marios, your Zeldas, and I think it's going to be a huge hit, coming up for this holiday season.
Right. It's $89. And you get all the games of Super Mario.
Already preloaded on there. 21 games are preloaded on it.
So all those cartridges, you don't need those cartridges anymore.
It's like on a flash drive inside of it. Now, you know what? We were a little bit ahead of the game on this. And actually 6 months ago on this show, I showed people how they could buy something called a Raspberry Pi, which is a little $35 computer, and build your own one of these. So if you're a little more DIY minded, you can go to the McGraw Millhaven website, click on the YouTube, and then search the word Nintendo in the YouTube videos, and you will find 6 months ago we show you how to do that. So just word to the wise.
Do you put that in your computer?
This actually is a computer. This is a Raspberry Pi is a really great, especially if you got kids that are wanting to learn about computers, or if you're wanting to give your kid a cheap computer, or if you want a project like this.
Right.
It's a $35 credit card sized computer.
Right.
And it gets better and better every year, and they keep it at the same price. It's an amazing little device. So highly recommend this.
I'm gonna go. I remember you talking about it, but I don't remember how you did it. So
it's you'll have to go back and watch the video.
Go back and watch the YouTube. Okay, the YouTube channel. All right.
So second quick piece of news. We're always talking about 4K.
Oh, by the way, we will retweet that. Willie, retweet that video so it's out there.
Yeah, it's helpful to have.
Okay.
Quick piece of news. We always talk about 4K TVs.
Yes.
Lack of 4K content. Well, Disney is getting around to releasing their very first 4K Blu-ray, which is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy. The new Guardians of the Galaxy. It's released on August 22nd.
When are they going to release a good movie?
Hey, that was a pretty good movie. That's a pretty good movie. But at least, our 4K TVs actually have something to do.
All right.
So now to the real story. This week, and actually these last couple weeks, we've seen lots and lots of phishing scams. And you're probably familiar.
Explain to people what phishing is.
Okay, so phishing with a PH is essentially an email, generally speaking, that is attempting to be a trusted institution, something like your bank, something like your USPS, FedEx, something like that.
Right.
And it is masquerading as this in order to essentially have you volunteer your own information so it steals your account.
Kathy Helbig was just talking about this. Somebody pretending to be your title company, sending you what looks like, hey, we need more banking information. It's really not your title company. They're phishing. You give them the information. They steal your money.
Exactly right. And this is the primary way of what you hear referred to as hacking.
Okay.
So all over the mainstream media, you hear a lot of people that don't know a lot about computers talking about hacking. And whether they're talking about a DNC hack or something else, what they're really talking about is phishing. Because it's a lot easier to hack the people than it is to hack the computers nowadays.
Right, because John Podesta responded to a phishing email.
He saw something that said, hey, you've got to track your package here, or, log in here, and he didn't pay enough attention. So what I want to remind people, because we've received many, many pieces of ransomware in the last 2 weeks alone. There was something called WannaCry and something called PETA that basically they would, once they got on your computer, they'd encrypt the whole thing, lock it down, hold your data ransom. So we just want to remind people a couple quick steps that you can always go through. So first thing, don't trust just the from address, the who it's from.
Right.
What I tell people think that's really a sacred thing that can't be changed. It's as easy to change from a computer side as if you were mailing someone an envelope. So, I could write an envelope over to Willie over there, but if I wrote from McGraw Millhaven on the outside of the letter, it looks like it's coming from McGraw Millhaven. It's exactly that easy. So you can't trust that. The other thing is they'll generally use scare tactics or something to get you to really click on the link. And almost all of these phishing emails are going to have a clickable URL, a link in the email.
Right.
So ask yourself, is this an expected email? Was I expecting this? Did I order something? Or is it unexpected?
Right.
If it's unexpected, it's always you can always delete it. Because
if you click that link, how much time before your computer blows up?
Here's the real scary thing. There's no way to tell. Because that link could be there just to tell if you're on the other end, basically, if that email's active. It could be there to plant something malicious on your computer and it not know.
Right.
So, really, what you got to do, one of the tips I always do is if I'm suspicious about an email, if you hover over the link, don't click on it, but if you just hover over it, it'll pop up with what the actual what web page it's taking you to.
Right.
95% of the time, that's going to be a different web page. It'll be like, scammer.ru slash PHP, and then you look at it, it says FedEx tracking. That's not where it's taking you. It's taking you to a different spot. So
got it.
Check your emails.
But if you click on it and then you say, oh my goodness, this might be bad, and you close it, have you closed it or have you already opened yourself up?
It's hard to tell.
You don't know.
And that's the thing about this is that it's better to save yourself a mountain of headache by taking 5 minutes and calling the person that sent you the email, especially if it's a friend, because that's what happens with a lot of these things. It gets infected to your system, and all of a sudden every one of your contacts is getting an email that says, hey, McGraw Millhaven just sent you this email. Click here. So just want to remind everybody to be very cautious. That's the way people are getting scammed nowadays. And just, again, always, if you delete it, they'll probably send it again.
It seems like, because I have my work email, which is separate than this, but it seems like Gmail, I have Gmail, and it seems like Gmail does a good job of sort of.
It really does.
Whereas like Hotmail and some of the other ones do a poor job.
I'd even say the work emails, the enterprise emails do a worse job than Gmail. Gmail, because Google's kind of on the front line of all these phishing, and they get the reports. They're the first ones to basically delist people and say, you can't do that. So I would say, you're better off with Gmail. But
okay, interesting. Yeah, because Hotmail, I've had Hotmail where it just gets bombarded, and you're like, this is insane. Oh, all right, so good. So Gmail is a better way to go. Larry, you're the best. Larry, send it back. First rule, and we will send out that clip if you want to turn your, you want to make a computer with a $35 Pi. If you want to make a computer, and Super a Nintendo, that could be a fun little deal for Christmas or something.
I think so.
Yeah, good. All right, thanks, Larry. 7:58, Big 550, KTR.